Hello and welcome. This is a conceptual tour of the Truckee Railroad Museum and exhibit space. When a visitor enters, they are greeted by a ticket seller who has railroad books and other railroad memorabilia in the museum's store. The building of the Transcontinental Railroad will be the first exhibit. It will tell the story of how Theodore Judah, Abraham Lincoln, and the Big Four, Stanford, Huntington, Hopkins, and Crocker, planned and built the first railroad to connect the East with the western United States. We will trace the history of the Congressional Railroad Act starting in 1862, Judah's route over the Sierras, and the Big Four's effort to race the Union Pacific to the Utah coal fields. Next, the visitor learns how logging railroads supplied wood to build Truckee and the West. This includes an explanation of narrow and standard gauge rail, as well as an exhibit of the workhorse Shay locomotive. Further along the wall is an exhibit showing the railroad struggles with the Sierra snows and how the solution of the snow sheds led to another problem of fire. A fire lookout, an early telephone, and fire trains was the system used to solve the problem. From the frozen logging ponds came Truckee's natural ice industry. Truckee ice and refrigerated freight cars helped introduce California's fresh fruit and produce to the Midwest. Visitors can pause and enter an attached theater to watch videos on snow removal and trains winding their way through the Sierras. The demise of the logging industry gave impetus to a railroad from Truckee to Lake Tahoe. This spurred the growth of Tahoe tourism. Moving from passenger trains to today's freights, we see a Microsoft Kinect exhibit helping the visitor learn more about freight cars. When the visitor points to a freight car, a description of the car and its use is displayed. At the end of the wall, we see an exhibit of a conceptual model of the permanent railroad museum and what it will contain. This will be built further east in the rail yard project. Moving to the center, we see the popular Thomas the Train exhibit. This exhibit attracted thousands of children to the previous Caboose Museum. Nearby is an interactive map of the railroad's route over the Sierras. Visitors can use the touch surface of the electronic table to find out the history behind locations on the map. The last interactive exhibit is a railroad simulator enabling a visitor to run a virtual train over Donner Pass. A model railroad of the Truckee and Donner Pass area completes the visitor's journey through the museum. Thank you for your time. We hope you enjoyed this conceptual museum tour. This is Jerry Blackwell of the Truckee Donner Railroad Society.